Hello, good morning. It's Monday morning, just after 7 o'clock, which means it's time for the Birmingham News Review. Now, I'll be here with you until 8 with a look back at the week just gone and a look forward to what's to come across Birmingham and the West Midlands. Well, we're going to kick off our show with a look back across the week at some of the things which have been making the news across our area. Jason will be here with another interesting guest in the Milk Bar, and I'll be seeing what's up on the community notice board. Norman Bartlam will be along a little later on to tell us what's so special about this month, and also Des and Sasha will be turning up as usual to tell us what's on in the coming week too. Owen will be taking another very special look at the part of our area, Bar Beacon. Yep, it's a busy hour ahead right here on the Birmingham News Review. So then, let's see what's been making the news this week. Now, as part of Learning Disability Week, Project Aspie in Birmingham held a gender and parenting session exploring gendered experiences of Asperger's syndrome and the autistic spectrum. The project aims to raise awareness about autism spectrum disorders and to provide support and understanding. We spoke to the founder of Project Aspie.
All about the community. It's bringing the autism Asperger community together, giving them an opportunity, giving them voice opportunities. That's what it's all about. Giving them life skills, confidence. Guest speakers come along. Inspiring. It's all about inspiring people, and we want to get an independence with people with the condition. It's a special today. It's all geared into ASD, gender and parents. It's an issue that really needs to be covered a bit more, so that's what the special's about today. ASD, of course, it's autism spectrum disorders, gender with females and also parents. People on the spectrum, females, they don't get the recognition that they deserve. It's because I was late diagnosed with the condition, so I just wanted to put something back and inspire other people. Oh, it's been really good. The impact is national, so it's gone really good. It's every month. We keep it every month to make it fair for people. It's free as well. People can just arrive when they feel. We like to keep the turnout small because I believe that you get more done, but the turnouts are really good. Like today, we've got speakers from New York and Netherlands. People from London's come over as well, so that's just showing you the impact. It's a lot of people enjoy it. It's about giving them a voice, really, letting them have the independence to live life.
Well, we've certainly seen a heatwave across the region during the past week. We heard that some parts of the West Midlands were hotter than Ibiza. Well, we took to the streets of Birmingham to find out whether people were enjoying the sunshine or struggling to cope.
Well, it doesn't feel like it is, but I think that's because of the wind. But as I said, I'm really struggling with it because I don't do well with warm weather.
It's kind of nice. It's nice because the winds with it. Yesterday it was too hot. I've been in the classroom all day. I've been dying of heat.
Yeah, today is blessed, like compared to the last 2 days. It's been stressed, man. But I prefer today because it has a breeze in it. Because it slaps you in your face and you're just like, yeah, it's good still. But if it was like the other 2 days, I wouldn't be having it, man. I do hay fever as well in it, so. I'm not about that life, fam. Not me.
And you can see what's in store for the next few days when we take a look at the weather later on in the programme. Next, as part of Small Charities Week, the City of Wolverhampton Council and Wolverhampton Bid have launched an alternative giving campaign. The idea is that 3 selected homeless charities receive donations given by the public instead of giving money directly to people on the streets. It's hoped that this will ensure funds are used in the most effective way to tackle the issue. Erin Wiggins reports.
It's estimated that over 90% of people in this country will at some point be approached by someone homeless asking for money. And now, as part of Charities Week, Wolverhampton Bid, along with the council, have launched an initiative to try and make sure donations for the homeless are spent in the most beneficial way.
I think it's something strong in a lot of people's hearts is that they see people sleeping homeless or, within the streets of whether it's Wolverhampton or surrounding towns or cities. And I think we just thought is that instead of people giving money directly to those individuals, is that we'd rather capture it, that it goes towards the charities that are doing all the hard work.
As part of the alternative giving campaign, 3 chosen charities will receive the donations from the public, those being St George's Hub, the P3 Navigator and the Wolverhampton Street Pastors, all of whom agree that this new scheme will prevent kind gestures going to waste.
If we come across somebody on a Friday afternoon and there's no accommodation and they may be vulnerable, that enables us to look at bed and breakfast accommodation until that Monday morning we can look at more secure accommodation. It helps us to ensure that people are kept safe. It helps us to ensure that we can get people something to eat.
We've been very concerned in the past that where the community, it's good that people will give donations to individuals in the streets. We were always concerned as to how that money was being used. No one wants to continue to add to current problems with alcohol, drink or drugs, and we know realistically it does happen.
It's an amazing idea. It's basically trying to get resource into organisations that require the resource rather than giving money directly to people who at the moment may be involved in all kinds of other activities. It means that the money goes directly to the organisations who in turn can work with individuals that need it the most and actually can be life-changing to those individuals.
The council have stated their desire to increase the number of charities supported by the scheme, in turn they hope decreasing the number of rough sleepers. Aaron Wiggins, Birmingham News.
After recent atrocities, emergency services across the country have been praised for their hard work and dedication, often in very difficult and frightening circumstances. In Birmingham, the Bahu Trust wanted to show their appreciation and hosted a dinner for police, ambulance and the fire services at their mosque in Birmingham as they broke their Ramadan fast. Olivia Marks was there.
In the midst of such challenging and tragic times, an evening to say thank you to those on the front line who dedicate and risk their lives for us, organised by Muslim charity the Bahu Trust.
They're the ones who run and get there first for our safety, and we felt that it's important for us to remember those emergency services, remember them in our prayers. You know, we're all neighbours, we share one earth, one planet, one community. And, you know, the best we can do is be good to each other.
Ramadan is all about remembrance and reflection, and the Sultan Bahu Mosque welcomed in the emergency services to break the fast together, giving them a taste of their religion.
Obviously, we don't get the chance to come to things like this very often. I feel, especially now, it's very important that when people reach out to us like this, when they reach out to people in the emergency services, that we're seen to kind of step up and say, yeah, let's talk, let's be friends, because it's just wonderful. I'm really glad that we're all here.
It's pretty incredible, really, and it's like a real honour. Myself and my team, we'd fasted earlier, as the earlier part of the month, and we went to our local mosque to break fast with the Imam there. It's great for everyone to come together, especially at a time when, you know, there could easily be division.
The evening was particularly significant, as since the terrorist attacks in London and Manchester, Islamophobic hate crime is on the rise. Here in Birmingham, a Muslim woman was recently punched in the face, and some mosques have been targeted.
Particular time when we're under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, and there's those who are trying to divide us, unfortunately. But to be here tonight to hear that we're actually all together, we're one spirit, one people, showing respect for each other and showing true regard for those who keep us safe day by day.
And despite threats and attacks which seek to divide, this community stands strong and united, thanking those who put others first. Olivia Marks, Birmingham News.
A Birmingham student who has been diagnosed with thyroid cancer will be taking part in a race called the Pretty Muddy Obstacle Course. It's in July and the idea is to raise awareness. Amelia Plisner was told she had cancer just 4 years after losing her mum to the illness, and Aaron Wiggins has been following her story.
When looking for inspirational stories, they don't come much better than this. Meet 22-year-old Amelia from Birmingham. She will be taking part in the city's Pretty Muddy event next month and was in Cannon Hill Park, preparing herself for it in the best way possible.
I mean, I did it a few years ago, so I can remember a few things I did then. It was like crawling under rope bridges, like inflatable obstacles, a lot of mud, space hoppers, a lot of running, obviously. And it was like a big inflatable slide at the end. It was really fun. It's an important event because, like, cancer touches everyone's lives, and we're really looking forward to it.
Amelia's mum died from cancer when Amelia was just 15, and then found out that she had developed a genetic condition making her susceptible to various cancer types. And at age 19, she herself was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. But despite the setbacks, she has been determined to remain positive and bounce back.
Because obviously, like, when you're dealt a really hard card like cancer, you just have to take it positively. Like, it's all right to be sad at times, but if you let it affect you too much, then it's just going to be like a downward spiral. So you have to be really positive about things and try and carry on as normal.
Doing the obstacle course with her will be some of her closest friends, and one of them believes Amelia is an inspiration.
I haven't been living in Birmingham that long, and for the time that I have been there, Millie's been there every day. And she is affected by cancer, and she's just been such a huge inspiration with how she deals with it, how positive she is, that I just want to help her in the way that she helped me when I first moved down, by supporting her in every way I possibly can. She's never complained about a thing, whereas I'm always complaining about the smallest things. With what she's gone through, it's just incredible that she's willing to keep going and help others and raise awareness, and I just want to help her with that.
The pair will be doing the race in Coventry and are hoping to raise money for cancer research, and if they can do that, as well as raising awareness, then they will be hopping with joy to the finish line. Aaron Wiggins, Birmingham News.
Time for a short break now. There's more to come from the Birmingham News Review, plus we'll be talking with a Family Fortunes and Coronation Street favourite about his latest acting role when we come back. Welcome back to the Birmingham News Review. It's just after 7:15. Now, Birmingham City University recently held an Innovation Fest for students at the Faculty of Computing, Engineering and the Built Environment. Aspiring innovators displayed their project to judges and business leaders at Millennium Point. Olivia Marks went along.
From robots to singing lamps and up-and-coming apps, hundreds of students at Birmingham City University were able to showcase their creations to experts at the Innovation Fest.
I've made a collar that tracks your dog, and it also sends you pictures of where your dog is.
This is basically a lamp with the built-in speakers that you can turn on and off from your phone.
It's a car security device that uses facial recognition to authenticate valid drivers.
This is Grasp, and as you can see, it's a free-moving glove computer mouse aimed to overcome restrictions of flat surfaces and also help those with disabilities. Grasp has even caught the attention of Microsoft.
It was just a first-year project, and now it's actually got real interest. I mean, we thought it would have a lot of interest, but not quite to that level.
Digital tech industries are expected to bring £2 billion to the region's economy, as well as creating 14,000 jobs. That's according to a new report drawn up by Birmingham City University and the Regional Observatory.
Getting our students into that mindset, working as an organisation with a mindset around innovation is really, really key for us to keep up to pace and to make sure that we're making a difference and impacting on the world around us.
The West Midlands is already recognised as one of the UK's most vibrant and digital tech clusters. And with more talent emerging, it's hoped the region can generate further economic growth. Olivia Marks, Birmingham News.
2 paramedics from Birmingham and Kidderminster are taking on a big challenge, climbing Mount Snowdon 7 times in 7 days. Kay Alexander and Amanda Hill are tackling the highest mountain in Wales, hoping to raise money for both Birmingham Children's Hospital and the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Olivia Marks went along to meet them.
7 years of friendship for West Midland paramedics Kay Alexander and Amanda Hill. And on the 7th of the 7th, 17, they're going to be climbing Mount Snowdon, but not once, 7 times in 7 days. Kay's raising money for Birmingham Children's Hospital after her son Alex was just 6 days old when he underwent life-saving heart surgery.
He's 3 now, he has regular checkups and he's great. You know, just looking around in like the ITU where he was for a while, you see a lot of parents, and at that point you're not a paramedic, you're a parent with those other parents, and it is really hard seeing everybody else going through things and the emotions everybody goes through. It's just really overwhelming. So I think Daddy's going to have a hard day looking after him while I'm away. I'm hoping that he'll be able to be brought up to me at some point just so I can see him, and obviously he's going to be missing me.
Amanda's close friend was diagnosed with neuroendocrine tumours, an incurable cancer, and she's raising money for the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham, who fund research for this.
They're just shaking their heads in disbelief that I'm prepared to go up this mountain 7 times for him. He's also meeting us on the last day at the summit in the train. We've got his ticket booked. I think it's a pretty cool thing to do for someone, isn't it? But training's been going well, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This isn't the first time they've both climbed Mount Snowdon. They did so for Amanda's hen do, and it was then when sirens went off in their heads and decided to take on this challenge.
particularly for me, I mean, to support Kay for the fundraising for her little boy is immense. But I know, likewise, she's doing it back for me. But ultimately, we're doing it for the 2 charities that we've nominated.
They both will benefit from any fundraising that they can get at any time, isn't it?
With a goal of raising £1,500 each, these paramedics not only save lives for a living, but are going above and beyond. Olivia Marks, Birmingham News.
Now, recently, Professor Rashid Gatrad, OBE, received the honour of a Lifetime Achievement Award for his work in the medical profession, locally and internationally. Professor Gatrad was instrumental in building a specialist unit at Manor Hospital, reducing mortality rates in newborn babies.
The biggest thing that attracted me here, perhaps, was that Walsall was so low down the pecking order in terms of mortality of newborn babies that it couldn't get worse. We were getting 18 to 19 babies per 1,000 dying here, worse in the country, when I came in '83. My remit was actually to improve that, and in 5 years we halved it to about 9 per 1,000. Now that's a huge, huge change, and we were the best in the West Midlands at that time. So that takes time, that takes teamwork, leadership, education. And without education, you can't leave anything, which is your second part of your question, which is that I love teaching. And it's partly because I can teach, I enjoy going to work.
Let's make our regular call now to the Milk Bar with Jason Forrest. And Les Dennis plays Uncle Fester in the Addams Family, a musical comedy. It's coming to the Wolverhampton Grand in October. But Jason caught up with Les between shows on a 2-performance day where they were recently in our area.
From the 17th to the 21st of October, the Addams Family is at Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre. Every Addams Family has to have its Uncle Fester. I think does every real one. Les Dennis is there. Hello.
Absolutely. I'm Uncle Fester. Clearly wearing
very heavily made up.
Yeah, between shows here, so I don't take my makeup off. He's a lovely character to play in this wonderful musical comedy that is just storming all the audiences that see us.
Absolutely, a brilliant show and so lively. And I think you must be so pleased. You need quite a lot of padding to play the part.
Yeah, luckily, I think, not as much as I would like, but he's a lovely character to play, and in the summer months it does get with the padding and then the heavy, because he wears a great big heavy brown overcoat. It's quite hot, but
it's a full workout for you.
It's a full workout. There you go. I don't have to go to the gym. Well, that's my excuse.
But I mean, the makeup itself as well. That is some severe makeup, and it goes everywhere, I'm guessing.
Oh, absolutely everywhere. My iPad and my kind of everything in my dressing room is just covered in white stuff, and even though I shower at the end of the night, you get home and it's all over the pillows, but it's white, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, but in the ears and everything.
Yeah, in the ears everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, that said, obviously you've gone the whole hog. You've shaved your head for this because your hair hasn't receded that far.
No. I did think about a bald cap, but trying it in rehearsals, it was so sweaty, and then the glue and the time that it would take to put on every show. I just thought, let's go for it, whole hog, and we did it for breast cancer now as a charity.
Absolutely excellent way of doing it. But a brilliant fun show as well, and it is about the whole of the Addams Family, and a great family show.
It is a great family show. Where maybe you've seen the TV series and then the films. In this, Wednesday is now 18. She's fallen in love with this normal guy, supposedly normal guy, Lucas Beinecke from Ohio, and she confides in her father Gomez that she's done that, but she tells Gomez not to tell Morticia, and that's where the whole thing starts. The jeopardy starts, because for the first time in their marriage, Gomez is keeping a secret from his wife, and then all hell breaks loose, but in a very comic and very touching, and in the end I think uplifting way.
And brilliant songs in the show that move it all along as well, and they're original songs, and that must be really great knowing you've got such a good set of first-class songs.
Beautiful new songs, and what's great for us as a cast is we're not a cast that is taking over a show that everybody knows and other actors have played before. We are creating, although it's been on Broadway and it's been across America, it's the first UK production, so we get to, with Matt White, our director, and we were fortunate enough to have Andrew Lipper, the lyricist and writer of the music, in the rehearsal room with us, so we got to create our own versions of the characters.
And obviously you've got a lot of history there as well, so it's tempted to bring something through. And how does that colour the way you approach the part?
Well, of course, I remember the show, the 60s show, from when I was a kid. I watched the movies with my grown-up son when he was little, and now I've watched them kind of with my kids now, but I deliberately tried not to overwatch the way Christopher Lloyd played it, or even Jackie Coogan. I wanted to bring my own version of Fester, so whether it's the right version, it's my version. He's childlike. Well, he'd have to be childlike and kind of got a lot of pathos because he's fallen in love with the moon, an impossible love affair.
Absolutely, but if anybody can, Fester can.
Fester says that that a love affair, closeness, no thank you. Closeness, no thank you. 250,000 miles away. That's a good distance for romance. We never fight.
And you also get a great song in the show as well. Yeah. And I've forgotten that you're a singer, but you really can sing, can't you?
Well, I hope so. Yeah, well,
it got you the job.
Yeah, it got me with the job, and it's a big sing, this show, and I felt a lot of the guys in the show are musically trained. I'm not trained in anything, in acting or anything. Everything I've done in this business, I picked up as I've gone along. But yeah, it's I've done other musicals, so I think I was always in training for Fester.
But we're very much looking forward to seeing you as Fester in October.
You've said all that before.
Oh, thanks very much, Jason. And of course, we'll have more from the Milk Bar at the same time next week. But if that's not enough for you, then the Milk Bar is also on the radio, and it's a downloadable podcast too. Just to order up themilkbarpodcast.com to find out more. So then, still to come, we'll be seeing what's up on this week's community notice board, and Norman Bartlam will take a look back in time to see what's so special about this week. Stay with us. So then, it's time for the community notice board. It's the news that you send to us. Of course, if there's something we could mention, then do get in touch. But as always, give us plenty of notice. And we'll give you those all-important contact details in a few minutes' time. Well, it's that time of the year again. If you're in Moseley, then watch your letterbox as programmes are arriving for this year's Moseley Festival. Now, it's probably best known for the annual street fair, and it's been run in the village since 1974. It's almost as old as me. It all begins this year on Friday the 30th of June with the annual Moseley Master Team Quiz in the Moseley All Services Club. The festival's famous street fair is on Saturday the 1st of July, taking over the Village Green and parts of the Ulster Road and St Mary's Row for the day. There'll be stalls with arts and crafts, hot and cold food, plus charities and community groups. There'll also be local musicians and dance groups performing on the Village Green. That evening, Irish musician Jack Lukeman will be performing at the Patrick Kavanagh. Other highlights over the 10 days include more live music, comedy and dance performances, as well as arts and cultural events. Moseley's Got Talent is back for another year, with a series of nights at the Prince of Wales. So the printed programmes are now being dropped through Moseley letterboxes, and they'll also be available in local businesses and community centres in Moseley and Kings Heath, as well as Kings Heath Library. But if you can't wait for that, then the full programme for the Moseley Festival can be found for download at www.moseleyfestival.org.uk. And you can follow the festival on Twitter at Moseley Festival or on Facebook by searching for Moseley Festival. Next, an autistic boy's aquarium wish has come true. 7-year-old underwater enthusiast Jack from Birmingham, who's recently been diagnosed with autism, was desperate to help the animal care team at the National Sea Life Centre in Birmingham. They heard about this and they organised a quiet afternoon for him with one of their team to help with some fish feeding. And there he is with aquarist Hayley Roberts. Now, since being diagnosed with autism, Jack has struggled to continue concentration and has been home educated due to some of his difficulties within a school setting. As a regular visitor to the aquarium, Jack was already familiar with the space, and his mother Claire noticed it stimulated his learning, making it the perfect place for him to spend time developing his knowledge. Now, the National Sea Life Centre has launched the Quiet at the Aquarium event, which aims to provide a quieter experience for a more comfortable aquarium visit for those with autism and other sensory requirements. So if you know of someone who might benefit from this sort of thing, then you can find out more at www.sealife.co.uk/Birmingham. Now, children have picked up their pens and pencils in a bid to improve road safety outside their Great Bar School. Pupils at the St Margaret's CE Primary School have designed posters and banners encouraging drivers to slow down and urging pedestrians to use the subway and crossings safely. Sandwell Council's Highways team has been running a community road safety campaign with the school since January, and pupils have conducted a speed check outside their A34 Birmingham Road School with officers from West Midlands Police and students from the Q3 Academy. Worried teachers and council highways staff launched the campaign due to the number of people crossing over the A34 without using the pedestrian crossing and the subway, despite there being fencing on the central reservation to deter them. Now, when the campaign was launched back in January, there have been 3 road accident fatalities close to the school in the previous 12 months. There have been no further recorded injury collisions in the area since the launch of the campaign. The winning banner and sign designs were unveiled outside the school, and pupils and staff celebrated the new signs and banners with an assembly attended by the Mayor of Sandwell, Councillor Ahmadul Haq, and Town Lead Councillor Steve Melia. The Council's Highways team will continue monitoring the area over the coming months. Now, national sports charity Tennis for Free has served up an ace for Solihull and the surrounding area by investing in a year-long programme of free tennis lessons, hoping hundreds of people across the area can make a racket at not one but 2 of the borough's parks. With the Women's Aegon Tournament at Edgbaston and Wimbledon just around the corner, the charity has created a partnership with Solihull Borough Council and the LTA to help provide free coach-led tennis sessions for all the family. Now, it started on the 24th of June and it's every week at Malvern Park and Shirley Park. Now, you can play in the morning at Shirley Park from 10:30 to 12:30, and then at Malvern Park between 2 and 4 p.m. You don't need a racket or a ball, as all equipment is provided free of charge. Now, you can register for tennis for free as follows. For Shirley Park, just go to www.shirleyparktennis.co.uk or email matt.corp@live.co.uk. And for Malvern Park, you can go to www.malvernparktennis.co.uk or email ianarmfield@btinternet.com. And of course, for more information, you can visit the website www.tennisforfree.com or look them up on social media. Do a search for Tennis for Free. So there you go, that's what we found pinned to this week's community notice board. If you know about something we could be telling people about, why don't you get in touch? But do give us at least a week's notice. You can email news@madeinbirmingham.tv. On social media, you can look us up. We are at MadeInBHamTV, or you can just use the hashtag Birmingham News. And as ever, we're going to have more for you at the same time next week. So then, it's time now for some movie news, and fresh from his daily film slot on the lowdown, it's back to Carl Jones.
Thanks very much, Lee. Time to take a look at what's new across the West Midlands cinema scene, and we're cranking up the volume really this week because the new Transformers movie, The Last Knight, is one of the big releases, which we know will be the latest family-friendly attraction, hot on the heels of The Mummy and Wonder Woman, which is still topping the charts at the moment. Transformers, I don't think I really need to tell you the plot. There's machines fighting, Mark Wahlberg looking worried, some sinister device hidden under the Earth's surface which holds the fate of the planet in his hand. It's basically the same old story every single time one of these comes around. Michael Bay is pushing the boundaries with all sorts of IMAX camera work. So here you go, take a look at this, stick your earplugs in and enjoy.
Your daughter, what would you say to her?
Brush your teeth, work hard. Stay away from any boy in a band, especially a drummer.
These are troubled times. Without leaders, chaos reigns. Two worlds colliding. You're all that stand in its way. And now the greatest mission of them all, to turn the tide of human history.
Brian, stop! Can't do this!
The imminent destruction of everything we know and love begins.
I'm not leaving you.
When all seems lost, a few brave souls can save everything we've ever known.
The operation is over.
We're not giving up on Prime, okay?
I want to stay, and I want to fight them.
For my world to live.
yours must die.
Transformers The Last Night then now showing across cinemas. If you like something a bit calmer than that, I can heartily recommend Hampstead with Diane Keaton and Brendan Gleeson, based on the true story of a man who refused to let developers push him out of his home on Hampstead Heath. And I'll leave you with a little glimpse of one of next weekend's big releases, one I'm quite looking forward to, the third in the Despicable Me series, with the evil Gru taking on a baddie who's obsessed with Michael Jackson. See you soon.
I can't wait to meet my brother!
What's the difference between me and you?
Who doesn't love this guy? Look at him! Oh, but hair would make you better! Look at his face! Oh, he's so mad!
What's the difference between me and you?
You must be the beautiful wife!
Oh, stop it! Sweet talker. This place is amazing.
It's nice, I guess, sure. I'm not really into things.
What's the difference between me and you? About 5 bank accounts.
Basic Gru, villainy is in your blood!
C'est Gru con boobs.
You ready to continue the family tradition, you and me? No, I left that life behind me. Just one heist.
What's the difference between me and you? You talk a good one, but you don't do what you're supposed to do. Know what I feel and never say with it.
I'm going in. I'm gonna be failed! I'm okay!
What's the difference between me and you?
This does not mean that we are going back to being villains.
Luca! Bueno? Pignouf! Bueno? Pignouf! Bueno? Pignouf! Nous les pignoufs!
Okay, still to come after the break, we're going to be looking ahead to see what's on during the coming week with Des and Sasha. Plus, we'll be taking a look at a very special part of our area. It's Barbeacon. Yeah, all that, plus a look at the weather too when we come back. Welcome back to the Birmingham News Review. Now for a look ahead to the week to come. This time it's What's On with Des and Sasha.
Hello, Des, where are we today?
We are at the Aegon Classic at the Priory Tennis Club. I've forgotten my tennis racket. New balls, please. You first.
Starting on Wednesday at the Old Joint Stock Theatre, Amelia Bulmers, Di and Viv and Rose. Now, it's a play themed in the 80s with the story of 3 young women arriving at university and forging an unlikely friendship. Di is earthy and sporty, a lot like me, obviously. Viv, intellectual and ambitious, and Rose is a bundle of excitement and intent on bedding any man who accepts her advances. But after the digs and dissertations, they go their separate ways. So we ask if their friendship can survive. So you can go and see that, and it runs until the 30th.
Amelia Bulmore, she was that idiot on the first Direct adverts. And then she was in a couple of TV things, but evidently she's been writing for years and years. Yeah, good, good. Booze news.
Ooh,
we like booze
this.
news.
Yeah.
Coming to Digbeth, Mad O'Rourke's Pie Factory. They're planning on building a street food bar and a brewery overlooking the hidden River Rhea. River Rhea runs underneath Digbeth, but they've evidently found a place where you can have windows on it. Brewery is being installed at the end of the month. with an possible August, end of August launch. It's going to have tanks of lager under the bars, and you'll be able to actually see it all being brewed and everything. And they're going to have pop-ups as well for food. So that sounds like a really good deal, right in the middle of Digbeth.
And a couple of fabulous shows for lovers of music at the new Alex Theatre. On Friday, That'll Be the Day is a non-stop celebration of rock and roll from the 50s to the 70s. And on Saturday, How Sweet Is It? Features songs from Stevie Wonder, The Four Tops, The Temptations, Marvin Gaye and Edwin Starr, and so many more from Motown's greatest hits.
I worked with Edwin Starr.
Did you?
I produced Edwin Starr. What a lovely man. He was one of my heroes.
Incredible.
You know, 25 Miles was on it. They always say never work with your heroes, but he was absolutely fantastic. A gentleman. I loved him to death. Yeah, comedy. Ricky Gervais is at the Barclaycard Arena. 2 nights, Tuesday and Wednesday. Do we like Rick? Bit Marmite Ricky Gervais, and you either get him or you don't. Yeah. Rob Deering is at the Comedy Junction in Sutton Coldfield. That's on Thursday. While at Friday at Circus Mash in All Saints Church in Kings Heath. This is an interesting one. The Comedy Aerial Silk stand-up show features Aaron Twitchen, who takes circus stunts, comedy stand-up and pop soundtracks to a higher level. So he's actually hanging upside down doing stand-up comedy.
Literally upside down. That's unique.
And Jimmy Carr is at the Symphony Hall on Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah.
His laugh is just infectious. Jimmy Carr's a good one. And at the Custard Factory, there's a 2-day coffee festival on the 1st and 2nd of July, bringing together 40 cultural experiences from the local area and beyond. So if you're a coffee lover, this is definitely a great place to go.
It's going to keep you up as well, isn't it?
Try all the beans.
40 coffees. Come out like that.
Maybe don't try all 40. just a few.
And Gig of the Week. Now, where'd I put me bell? Sorry about this, Elvis. Gig of the Week. Hold me bell. I did this guy the other week on the Lowdown. The Big Wolf Band. They're going to be at the Jam House on Wednesday. So, there you go, Gig of the Week. Back over to you.
Now for the next in our mini-series of films from Barbican in Walsall, which has recently seen the completion of the Raising the Bar project. It was a Heritage Lottery Fund grant which helped to restore the landmark Ward Memorial and other heritage features. It also funded a programme of community involvement with activities ranging from walks and talks to archaeological digs and music festivals. All of these and more will feature throughout the series, so let's see what we've got today.
Barbican is one of the few remaining examples of lowland heath in the region. It was once part of a huge area of heathland that stretched from Sutton Park to Cannock Chase. And you can discover the plants and animals that make heathland their home on the 2-mile circular nature trail. You can also use the mobile phone app to guide you through the trail with a choice of a wildlife or heritage trail to complete. During spring and summer, it'll lead you through purple blankets of heather, golden flowering gorse and flower-rich meadows, alive with butterflies, mining bees and other heathland wildlife. There's usually some interesting bird life to look out for too, with ravens, buzzards and kestrels all being regular visitors. Our rangers are experts at identifying and handling wildlife. Don't try this at home.
Barbican is made up of lots of different habitats, places where wildlife can live. And one of the main habitats that you'll find here is heathland. In this part of the country, there was a huge expanse of heathland. As well as Barbican, you'll also find heathland down the road to the east in Sutton Park, then to the north at Shire Oak Park and on Brownhills Common, and a little further on Cannock Chase. At one time, all of these sites were linked together in a large area of lowland heath.
As we explore Barbican, we're going to keep a lookout for the plants and animals that make heathland their home.
And it's not just heathland species. You can find animals and plants in other important habitats here too. We have mixed woodland with lots of different tree species, meadows, hedgerows and amenity grass areas, all of which are home to many interesting and different types of wildlife. This is a really nice little bee that I've just got out of this foxglove. It's one of the common bumblebees that you'll see in your garden, and it's actually called the garden bumblebee. And this bee is a male, and I can tell he's a male because he's got quite narrow back legs, and that's because the males don't need broad legs for carrying pollen because they basically don't do any work or carry any pollen. So I know that he won't be able to sting me because male bees don't have a sting. They just don't have the body parts. Bees are in decline, and we think that it probably is largely to do with pesticide use. Areas like this, which are managed sympathetically with nature and surrounded by urban areas, are absolutely perfect for bees because urban areas don't tend to have the heavy pesticide use that agricultural areas do. So it's a bit of a haven for them. So it's a great site for a great little bee. And I'll show you that he's definitely male and won't sting me. Whoa. One of the animals that you're not likely to see if you come up to Barbican during the daytime is a bat. And the reason for this is that they're nocturnal. You're more likely to see them at around dusk during the summer months. And because of this, every year on Barbican we organise special bat walks. One of the species bats that you are likely to see up here on Barbican is the common pipistrelle, and I have one here to show you. This is Macy, and she is about 2 weeks old, and she's pretty small. But even when she's fully grown, she'll still fit inside a matchbox, and that's because the pipistrelle is the UK's smallest species of bat. But here on Barbican, we've also got the UK's largest species of bat, which is the noctule. Now Macy here can see about as well as I can, which at night is not very well, so when she's fully grown and released, she'll find her way around at night by echolocating, using sound to see. Now, Macy's going to be fed up and released, and I have a special licence to handle her. But bats are a protected species throughout Europe.
And of course there are lots of other species that we could have mentioned, including bluebells, buzzards, green woodpeckers, great spotted woodpeckers, mammals including the grey squirrel, rabbit, wood mice and common shrew, so keep a lookout.
And Marverine will be back with more about Barbican at the same time next week. So that's all we've got time for on today's Birmingham News Review. Now I'll be back with you on Saturday and Sunday nights at 6 for the Weekend Magazine, and of course for another Birmingham News Review next Monday morning at 7. Remember, you can always keep up to date with more news for Birmingham and the West Midlands every weekday at 6 and 8 in the evening. So that's it for now. Stay tuned. The weather for the next couple of days is coming up, and then after the break, as promised, Carl Jones is back with another big engine debate. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye for now.